Hi, welcome to the Douglas on My Mind show. I'm Blondell Thomas, the City of Douglas Media Relations and Event Coordinator, and we'll be right back to tell you some great and interesting things that are going on within the City of Douglas. Hi, welcome to the Douglas on My Mind show, and we are here today with our city manager, Mr. Terrell Jacobs. Mr. Jacobs, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We're going to get a few updates from you today, starting with the AMI. Tell us all about it, what it is, and what customers can look forward to.
All right. Well, we asked me about what was the definition of the acronym AMI, and I forgot about it because I just know what the whole system is, but it's Advanced Metering Infrastructure. So in essence, it is the ability to give those meters the opportunity to two-way communicate in the field in relationship to currently now. We either do what we call a ride-by, and we pick up the data information coming off those meters via a laptop, or they use, in previous situations, I guess in other systems, they use what they call a wand. They can tap the meter at the top part of the sensor and grab the readings that way, or as the old-fashioned way, they could just flip the lid and look down there at the meter and see the digital or the old rotary dial and get the numbers off of them from that point. But this system has the ability to communicate that data information from that meter as low as every 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Now we're going to be doing it every hour. Okay. So the whole purpose of getting that information to us every hour is a lot of folks have a concern about how much consumption they're having day by day. Currently right now, the challenge that we have is when we send your bill out, is usually billed to you 28 days ahead in regards to when you get your bill, behind rather. So because we're using last month's consumption based on what you get, what you will pay for in the future. So so really, when they get the bill, they really don't know what their consumption patterns were. So really, a lot of folks get upset because they say, "Oh, I can't believe I use that much water, I use that much electric, or whatever, natural gas." So this system will give them the ability to see that information very quickly on an hour-to-hour basis, potentially, if they so choose.
Okay, so the customers will actually be able to look at their usage.
And since it's two-way information per se, we can get information off that, and we can also hopefully push information to the meter and also to the home if they want to, get that access. So what will happen is you'll have an employer portal, which we'll be able to see what the information is day by day for that customer, and then the customer, if they come into our client portal, will be able to see the same information that we see just as much as for that. So they can even set parameters in their household for, I want to only use 1,500 kilowatts of power for the month. And once it gets to close to 1,500, it will send them a text message or an email and say, "Hey, you almost used 1,500. You need to make some." It won't tell you that, but it'll say, "You need, you've almost used 1,500 kilowatts." And
it won't cut them off.
No, it won't cut them off. But what it will do, it will help them be more informed about what's going on. They can also put parameters on things if they're having heavy wattages or heavy water usage. It can tell them when they have spikes in their usage as well. So then they can go look at the toilet, let's just say for a high water usage. It will tell them that you're outside your normal range of water use, because it will track your last I think several months average and say, okay, you've been using 2,000 gallons for the last 5 months. All of a sudden you start using 5. So it will text you and say, you look like you're on track to have a high spike water usage. So there might be something wrong. It will,
Right.
it'll tell you that information so you can determine if something's wrong. So then you can go check your toilets, check and see if you have a potential problem.
Right.
Or you may say, well, I was washing my car, I washed the neighbor's car, I washed somebody else's car. So then you can say, okay, I know where that water went.
Right.
Same way with electricity. If you got HVAC that is problematic in relationship to heating or cooling your house, it can tell you that, okay, during these peak times, this is when you had some high levels of kilowatt usage, so that you can start tracking, okay, what was going on at the house at that time? Did I turn on the dryer? Did I have a problem with my hot water heater? Or did I have a problem with my HVAC? Whichever that might be. Then you can start pinpointing where those issues are.
Right.
So it's going to be a great tool for our customers, a great tool for our employees to help all together troubleshoot. Believe it or not, and I know folks are listening to this and they're like, oh, another gadget to take advantage of a customer. But no, I appreciate Mayor and Commission invested in this. It's going to be about a $2.6 million investment because it's actually going to help the customer only use how much utilities that they need, because we don't want you to use no more than you need.
Right, and it'll also help them, like you've said,
Right.
see if there's any problems or anything.
That is exactly
because
right.
it's really amazing how much just a little leak with a toilet
Oh,
will
yeah.
make your water bill
Yeah,
go up.
matter of fact, I was at this lady's house. I won't speak who it is, and bless her heart, and she's had this problem for a while. And when she put the dye, that's one way we test to see if you got a leak. When the flapper does not seal properly,
Right.
it could seep just a very minuscule amount of water out of that flapper into the toilet bowl, and that going in the toilet bowl, then technically that water continuously drains and comes out the fill valve. So meaning that you're using more water than you need in a normal flush situation. So when she say, well, I did see a little bit of dye coming in that means that you got a little leak in your flapper.
Right.
So stuff like that they can hopefully start to see, instead of going through all these processes that we try to take them through right now. They can see for themselves, look online and say, hey, yeah, looks like I've used a little bit more water this time. Let me go check and see if something's going on in my house, so forth. And they can do that day by day.
Okay.
As far as that, and like I said, we grab and reads every hour. So all these, I think we have over about 12,000 meters. All those water, electric, and natural gas meters will be pushing that information every hour back into our system, back into City Hall.
Okay.
And then the good thing is we'll be able to get that information to the customer. They can go on the customer portal, their iPhones, their Droids, or whatever they want to use, and just see what's going on. They can get text messages. Everybody like text messages today. So they can set their alerts up for that. I do it with my bank account. I got alerts when I go to the ATM. I got alerts when some unsuspicious purchase is made,
Right.
my authorization. So I know I can go check my account. The same principle for that, like the banking industry, that's what we're trying to do, so that you can be aware of what's going on at your house. Because once again, we don't want to sell you no more utilities than you need.
Right.
And actually, just being transparent, obviously there's a lot of waste out there. There's a lot of wastefulness with a lot of houses that are not energy efficient. There's a lot of waste when people just neglect, I just don't care that my toilet's leaking. I'll just pay because I don't want to fix it, or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
People don't service their HVACs twice a year. You need that at the minimum. Service them twice a year.
Change those filters.
Change those filters out, exactly. All those things that we take for granted that we don't worry about, or we just neglect, whatever. And then it costs money. And then when you get your utility bill, you say, well, I can't understand. So hopefully this will help them better, navigate through those things so that they can address those appropriately and quickly, because
Right.
that's what needs to happen. Because once again, when you remedy that issue, hopefully your utilities will come back to some normalcy as far as that.
And
Now,
it's in real time too. You
Yeah.
don't have to wait 28 days
That
later and then try to figure
that
out
is
what
correct.
happened. Right.
Now, one of the things as we put this system in, and we're almost complete with it now, we still got some, kind of punch list stuff to do, but we can't do anything about Mother Nature. Okay?
Right.
Okay. This year, believe it or not, we have had abnormally colder days, and we live in South Georgia, and as a matter of fact, we were talking about this today, that heat pumps more prevalent here to give us heat. Okay, and what people don't understand, and I'm not trying to say, our viewers are dumb or nothing like that. I'm just trying to help you understand. A lot of folks really don't understand the principle behind heat pumps. They actually pull warm air out of the environment and push it into your house. That's what we call heat pump. It pumps that air, that heat from outside to inside of your house.
Right.
Well, if it's 32 degrees below, it's 33 degrees temperature outside,
Right.
it ain't
And
gonna
it
work.
ain't no heat.
Ain't no heat out there. So what it's going to do is going to turn on your heat strips, which is a secondary heat in relationship to that. And when the temperature does go back down, go back up, up beyond 32, then it will try to start bringing that heat in. But if it's 32 degrees outside for 12, 15, or how many hours, and this winter it's been
We have had some cold days, yes.
Several days, almost weeks.
Right.
Those heat strips are going to come on. And just like any heat strip, the electricity use on heat strip versus heat pump is going to be almost double in regards to that, because heat strips take up a lot of current. So when you try to tell people that, y'all just trying to...
The mechanics behind everything. It's not just...
You're trying to come up with an excuse for giving me a high bill, but no, that's the whole premise behind it. And then some people don't even have heat pumps. They just have heat strips.
That's in your older models,
Older
right?
model, because back then they didn't have, technology has changed now with HVAC. So obviously when technology changed, the more efficient these units are. But back then they didn't have to be efficient because, utilities were very, 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 very inexpensive to some degree. So obviously, those things develop over time to make it more efficient so that hopefully be less costly on the consumer. But those are all things that we deal with. So once again, can't do anything about Mother Nature. Mother Nature is here with us, whether we have hot summers, or we have sometime cold winters, and we have to ebb and flow with it, and utility costs related to that go up and down based on those factors. So.
Okay, or warm days like today. I've got the air conditioner on at my house.
Yeah, it's February. There we go. Yeah, so it is what it is.
You spoke earlier about employees being able to monitor also. Now, will employees actually contact the customer if they see there's a problem, or is it still going to fall back on the customer to realize it?
Well, we haven't worked through that process to any degree, but the first thought would be, we want the customer to take some ownership of their consumption, because they're the ones that are using the utilities. We're not using the utilities. Now, obviously, just like anything, if there's some abnormalities in regards to that account, we're going to try to contact them and let them know there's problems.
Okay.
And let's give you examples. Some senior citizens out there that ain't too, technology savvy.
May not have a computer
may
or
not have
a phone.
or a cell phone. Believe it or not, there's some folks that don't have cell phones. So we'll be cognizant of that, and if they possibly want us to help them, deal with that. And then you got some people that have someone else managing their utility affairs. We want to try to help them make sure that they get the information that they need in regards to that. So we'll try to do some of that as best we possibly can, and because we want to help them be informed consumers. And believe it or not, that's the whole purpose about this. You can make better decisions at your household if you have better information.
Right.
But right now, you don't have a whole lot of information about how much you use until you get that bill, and it's too late.
Yeah, and then you're mad, yeah.
Then you're
28
mad.
days later.
Yeah, you're mad then. And then, and all we can do is say, well, we don't know what happened. All we can do is try to help you backtrack and figure out what's going on. We turn into Sherlock Holmes in relationship to trying to help you figure out what's going on at your house. And sometimes the clues are not always so obvious. And that's what people want you to know. How you should be able to find this clue why my utility is so high, but sometimes we don't know.
Right.
We have some historical ideas about what we think might happen, but sometimes we found situations beyond our imagination how things got to be highly. I mean, we've found condensers that are actually stuck. We found a lot of different things you would not believe. We found sometimes people steal other people's water.
Right.
It happens. You just have a lot of things going on out there that you would not find them happening. And sometimes when the property owner's not home or the tenant's not home, things happen.
That's
Unbeknownst to themselves. So, you know, we just try to help them know what's happening as best we possibly can.
Okay, so now have all the meters been changed out? I know
Just about. We got a few. Matter of fact, we're working on some pole attachment agreements with Georgia Power. We got some in some outlying areas that we'll work with them on, and Satilla, to try to make sure we touch, because we actually have some meters in some other larger areas. I mean, some areas in Coffee County like Broxton and actually Ambrose that we want to connect. So all of our meters that we deal with as best we possibly can, we be up under this canopy of AMI so that they can all communicate back in as best we can. Now, there might be a few large meters, what we call vault meters, for these larger industries. They'll probably still have to be manually read. And some of those industries have what we call pulse meters that already have similar type of technology that communicates back in to them. And they get the reading off it, we get the reading off of it. So those will be some unique situations that we'll have to deal with.
Okay, so when do you think you will actually start with this system?
Probably late spring, early summer, rolling this out, and hopefully we got some other aspects of it. You know, there's the pay-as-you-go portal, which will give some of those individuals, I think Satilla has that set up right now, where they can just, you know, pay $100 down on their utilities, and when it gets to $25 or $50 or whatever threshold we give, it'll send them a text message or email, and they can come put more money back on their utilities. Some people would rather do that than coming and paying a huge deposit and trying to pay the monthly fees as far as that monthly payment. So that's going to be a situation. And then, as we've just mentioned about the customer portal and the employee portal with Utility Hawk, which is a great tool that hopefully will help them. Our staff has been training on it, trying to learn how they can navigate around it and do all the type of things, because customer will call and say, how do I set the parameters so it can tell me about this? So we need to know all that. We need to have a good understanding so we can hopefully train the customers when they come in. And we'll probably even have some training days for people can come in and say, okay, if you want to learn how to set all this up, here's an opportunity for you to do that.
So that was going to be my next question, is how do our customers sign up? What would be the process of that?
Yeah, we'll probably have some things set up where they'll come sign up for either the customer portal, and do some training on that, and then like if they want to do the pay-as-you-go, we'll have that set up. We may even have some kiosks set up in certain locations throughout, because sometimes people can't get to City Hall and pay, and they just want to pay online, or they want to pay at Walmart or whatever. Make it easier for them. Everybody doesn't work, at a reasonable time that they can swing through City Hall and pay us through the drive-through or come into City Hall. So we need to give them some other convenient opportunities. We're
making it easier and efficient.
That's right. That's right. Because one thing is, we don't want you to have a distress situation about your utilities. Because obviously we all got to pay for utilities. We want to make it as easy as possible, and that you can make informed decisions about how much you need in relationship to that. So, because once again, all we want to do is sell you what you need. Period. Right. That's what it's all about.
Okay. Was there anything else you'd like to update us on, or?
Want to talk to you about the retail projects. I can't go into any specifics, but some of y'all may be aware that the old school board property, actually old Coffee High. Did you go to Coffee High?
Yes, I did.
Coffee High actually is going to be scheduled to be torn down within the next month or two, and they will start the process of hopefully building some retail development there. It's been a little slow. I know people like for it to go a lot faster than, but you got, I can tell you this much, you got to work out all the lease agreements with all the tenants in that is going to go in there. Wow. So it takes a little time for all that to happen. So hopefully we'll be in the next several months, maybe down to, I would say, hopefully by early fall, there'll be some announcements of what might be forthcoming or whatever. So, but that's where it's at. Working with GDOT, because there's going to be some improvements there of the intersections because of all the potential traffic that might come through there and all that. So, but I think it's going to be a good project once it's all said and done.
All right. That sounds wonderful. That's the big things coming for Douglas.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Big things. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Jacobs, for being here and giving us this update today. We really appreciate it, and we'll be right back after these few messages. Hi, welcome back to the Douglas on My Mind show. We have with us now Mr. William Minkema and Miss Evie Woodward to tell us a little bit about some things coming up at the Martin Center. So, William, tell us what's going on.
Well, in February we have the Red Hat Ladies. We're going to have a talent show and a sign up.
That's going to be fun.
That's coming up this week, this Thursday.
Okay.
So in March we have Brandon Musgrove is bringing a play called Obedience.
Okay.
That's written locally. All the actors are local.
Brandon wrote this, correct?
Brandon Musgrove, yes.
Okay. All right.
And he had some help, but it was written locally.
Okay.
And which is going to be a great event. It's
Yes.
live music, live performance. It's
And
gonna
local
be,
stars.
and
so
local
that's it.
local people. There'll be people you recognize in this.
Okay.
We also have coming up a pet theater.
Popovich.
Yes, I've saw
comedy.
some of this, and I'm thinking my daughter will freak out over this.
So
So
cute.
the Popovich Pet Theater is actually on. They were finalists on America's Got Talent. They have a show on the Las Vegas Strip. It's been voted the best family show in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
2 years in a row. But they're taking it on the road. All of the animals in the show have been rescued from a shelter from across the country and
awesome.
trained. It's a great family event.
Now, do they have more animals than just dogs, or is that
They
a
have
secret?
dogs. They travel with like 20 to 30 animals.
Wow, okay,
So I can't tell you exactly which animals will be here,
right,
but it'll be a combination. But I can tell you that the animals that are in it have been rescued.
okay, great. That sounds like an awesome family event, and it's actually on a Sunday, isn't it? Like a matinee?
It is a matinee on
Okay.
a Sunday,
Okay.
yes. So those are the two big events that we have coming up. We also have Miss Evie's event,
All
which
right.
takes place in April.
Okay, Evie, you want to tell us a little bit about what you're going to be having?
Yes, ma'am, I will. Well, to tell you about Feed the Need variety show is when we're having it April 28th.
Okay.
I'll need to give you a little bit of background,
Yes.
the reason why we're doing it. So in 2016 of March, there was a Leadership in Action project in 4-H where kids look for a need in their community and they try to fill it. And I was going to compete in this competition, so I needed to look for a community service need. And I saw that an elementary school that's local here, there are 99.4% children that are food insecure. So they go
Wow.
home after school lunches and they don't have any food to welcome them.
Right.
So that's a pretty bad thing. So
It is.
I decided to team up with our local food bank and gather supplies and take it to the 4-H office right over there, and we'll assemble the food bags, the snack bags, and we take and deliver them to the kids by hand.
Okay.
But I wanted to bring awareness to this project, so I called up Mr. William and said I want to put a variety show together where all the proceeds will go towards bagging hunger, which is the project where I feed the children. So
Okay.
we're working on it. We're going to have lots of different acts. I've actually got a unicyclist that's going to juggle coming, and a few
Wow.
different vocalists and some actors. So it's going to be great, and we're working on it, and it's doing well.
Okay, and what's going to be the name of the show, the variety show?
Feed the Need variety show.
Okay, and it's coming up when?
April 28th.
April. All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
So that's, yeah. Now, is it a ticketed event? How much?
The
is
tickets,
admission?
yes, ma'am. The tickets are going to be $8 for kids and $10 for adults.
Oh, okay, that's very reasonable considering that all of that's going for a good cause.
Yes, ma'am. And hopefully we'll reach other schools with these profits as well.
Okay, and how do you determine the children who you deliver the bags of meals to?
Well, we normally do it by grade.
Okay.
But just as much as we have, we try to give to everyone. If we only have 300 bags and there's 400 in the school, then we give it to the younger children.
Right.
But most of the time, we've been able to fill every child's belly or give them all bags to put
Okay.
in their backpacks.
Oh, that's great. That is
That's
awesome. So how did the 4-H service project, did you have a contest with it, or how did you do with that?
Yes, I remember well. Last year, I went to State Congress, which is the statewide event where all of the kids from around Georgia that competed in Leadership in Action go to compete against each other, and I received a $500 grant to
Oh.
put towards my project. So I use that,
That is
for
wonderful.
the rent. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, wow, okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Are there any other projects coming up, or do you have anything else? It's just this first variety show, and then you're gonna go from there?
We're going to go from there. It's a little work in process.
Now, if someone wants to be a part of the variety show, do they contact you, or
They can
how do
contact either me or Mr. William.
Okay,
There will
gonna-
be open auditions for the show on March 24th.
okay. Do they need to let you know ahead of time that they're coming? It's just completely open?
It's
or-
open to the public, open
Okay.
auditions. They can
Open
come
auditions.
fill out a sheet.
All right. And for those of you who may not know where the Martin Center is, where's that located, and
We
what
are
phone number?
centrally located in downtown Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
The phone number is 912-384-6070.
Okay. All right. So we need all those talented folks to line up out the door and get ready.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Is there an entry fee or anything as far as the acts? No entry fee
ma'am.
for them? Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like a wonderful thing, and I wish you lots of luck, and hopefully I'll be able to make it to it. Sometimes I can and sometimes I can't.
That would be lovely.
But William, is there anything else that you want to update us on about the Martin Center?
After April, we have a comedy show, another improv show coming in May.
Oh, okay.
So that will be the next event. So
Is
that's
that
the-
going to be sort of like how it was last year?
It's always a different show because it's improv,
Right.
but this show is along the lines of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Where off the cuff they just draw the cards that the audience has filled out when they come in, and they just go with it.
Yeah.
It's-
I heard that it's
it is
hilarious.
hilarious. Yes. So it's a great show.
All right. Well, thank you both for being here today, and we'll be right back after this.
One time, one time.
Hi, and welcome back to the Douglas On My Mind show. I have a few community and city-related events to share with you. This weekend, February 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, the GRPA District 2 basketball tournaments will be held in Douglas. We'll have the tournaments starting at Central Square Complex, and also some of the tournaments will be held at the freshman campus at the gym there. So if you would like to attend, or if you want to come out and support our Douglas All-Stars, it will be greatly appreciated. If you need more information, you can call the Recreation Department at 384-5978. On March the 3rd, we will have our monthly community junk drop-off day. You can bring large items to the city pole yard and drop them off at no charge. This is only for City of Douglas residents, and you do have to provide proof of residency. On March the 10th, we will have the Wiregrass Artists Children's Festival, and it will be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Central Square Complex. Also coming up in March, on March the 24th, we will have the Tiny Tot Egg Hunt at 11 a.m. It starts at 11 a.m., so you need to make sure that you arrive prior to 11. You can even come earlier, around 10 a.m., for photos with the Easter Bunny and some other characters. Also on March the 24th, we will have the Coffee County Teacher Job Fair. Make sure that you get out there and get your resumes ready, those teachers that are looking for more jobs. The job fair will be 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on March the 24th at the Coffee Middle School Auditorium. For more information, you can contact the Coffee County Board of Education at 384-2086, extension 6503 or extension 6504. Thanks for tuning in this week, and we'll see you next month, and have a great day.